Welcome to the final day. Congratulations to everybody who has made it here, and thank you for making the journey with us, with me. I hope the learnings have been deep for you. For me, for sure they are. But let's come to today's topic. The tough one: accept yourself for who and what you are. So everything we have been touching upon leads us to the point where the ultimate question is, am I my own friend? Would I be my own friend? And am I willing to fight for myself? So if it is so that yes, I am willing to fight for myself, I believe in myself, I accept that I am born woman, meaning my potential lies in femininity, and all the other aspects which we already covered. If I really take it in and accept it, then it becomes easier and easier for me to spend time with myself, to actually enjoy the time with myself here, in my everyday life, in the world, here. So, but what is stopping us to accept ourselves? Generally, the main issue which we encounter when we are talking about self-acceptance is the first thing we meet is our self-image. And we think that, well, I am this, I am that. We identify ourselves with our roles. So, for example, I'm mother of three. And then I start to kind of criticize myself, how good of a mother I am, etc. And for sure, I have made some mistakes on the way, some bigger than others. And when I start feeling ashamed about my mistakes, I also start to create this self-image negative. This is I really love the story of Dorian Gray's portrait, where what happens psychologically every time I make a mistake, so I do something which I know I shouldn't do, I put this, and I feel shame about it, I put this away on this kind of portrait. I'm kind of separating this part away from me. I'm becoming more and more detached and separated. But it is not possible to kind of run away from ourselves. Every one of us have our own shortcomings, and we cannot run away from them. If at some point we have learned to feel shame about our shortcomings, some things which we don't yet know how to do. So, for example, my favorite shortcoming is, or my pet shortcoming is stubbornness. But the potential in stubbornness is resilience. I can cling to a goal and keep at it until I get it. But it also plays out in negative forms, in stubbornness, where I'm fighting for I'm right and I'm causing trouble where it shouldn't be. So I need to learn to handle the same energy, the same kind of stubbornness and resilience. So I need to handle it. I need to learn to handle it. But if I feel shame about that I'm stubborn, well, I've come to a conflicts many times, and I feel bad about being stubborn. Then it's as if I put away a tool which is actually useful, and I don't touch it, and it's there, and it's kind of like dragging along all the time. I have this tool in my baggage, but I'm not using it, and it starts to create tension where there shouldn't be any. So that's why we actually do need to accept our shortcomings. But today's task was focused on positive. So the task was to think of a person who you admire, and then really specifically describe what you admire, and then bring it back to yourself, and really claim it and own that you also have the same quality in you. The method which we are using in the task is called the mirror concept, and behind that mirror concept is a force called resistance. So it is resistance that is in the basis of mirror. And if I feel, I've also resistance is also one of my shortcomings. So if I feel bad about the fact that I am also resistant, I cannot use the mirror concept as well. So I'm putting away a tool, a force, a power, without even thinking that I need it, but I need to be able to handle it. So what I admire, I can share also. I admire singers, like all sorts of singers, especially those who are technically very good, very skillful, and people who have natural talent. And as you have heard, many of you, I am currently in the midst of a huge relationship challenge. But today I decided that I will choose myself. I will put myself first. And I just came from a singing lesson. And today was the first time in my life when we were doing jazz impros, and I felt good about it. I felt that, hey, I actually can do it. You know, I have the ear, the rhythm, and stuff like that. So I do have what it takes to be a good singer, and I can claim it and own it also. And what happens if we do not accept ourselves? Then we become insecure. It's that simple. It's that easy. And lack of self-acceptance is the root cause of insecurity. And if we are insecure in any of the situations, then we start to do weird stuff, absolutely weird stuff. And other people can't understand why we behave in a super weird way in a super simple occasion. And it's because we are identified with our self-image negative. So this portrait that we grimly do not want anyone else to see. You know, we are acting upon a fear, and the fear is called fear of exposure. And how we create the fear is with secrets. Until something is kept secret, it is creating a space where the fear of exposure grows and grows, and the fear starts to guide our actions. And when we decide that, you know, I don't care what people think, but I need support, and I'm going to reach out for support, I'm going to share whatever it is that's happening, even though I feel shamed about it, I feel embarrassed about it, I will still share and reach out for support. Miracles start to happen, and we open our hearts for support from other people. and we open our hearts to love also. First self-love and love from others. And from my own experience, I can share that the first experiences when you realize that, wow, this person is still here, even though I have treated them very badly, because of my own shortcomings and fears and whatever baggage I'm carrying. But they are still here. They still love me. They still take care of me. They still support me. There is this overwhelming feeling that you will get. And the overwhelming feeling is humility or humbleness, that they still love me. So when we are brought face to face with our shortcomings and we kind of feel humiliated, let's call it so, that, oh, they are giving me critical feedback and pointing out my failures all the time, and they're so negative, and etc., etc. What they are asking is a bit of humility to acknowledge that, yes, I am also part of causing whatever is happening. Is it positive? Is it negative? I think that the energy in the situation is the same, even with good feedback, even with uplifting feedback. We learned this in past week, that it's not always easy to take in positive feedback. So, but the sense of humility is the same, that, okay, I am this. And yeah, at some points in our lives, we have made a decision that we are bad in whatever sense. If you can imagine a little kid, 4-year-old boy, for example, going around the room and repeating to themselves, I am a bad boy, I am a bad boy. It's the same kind of feeling that all of us have in ourselves. And it was this week, or maybe even last week, when I found under my own bed, my childhood bed, written, I am a good child. Like, Triin is a good child. And it's written like several times, which must have meant that I was kind of pep talking myself in some way. But yeah, it also brought this huge sense of humility, that, hey, I've been struggling with this my whole life. So yeah, let's accept both parts. So both that I have thought about, I have become to believe that I'm a bad girl, but also that I'm a good girl. So time for us to really accept both parts and integrate those parts into ourselves and into our lives, and start living with full heart, with open heart, with whole heart. It takes courage, but it also gives you connection with yourself and other people. Thank you, and hope to see you again in future challenges.